If you're looking at cast iron for outdoor cooking, this is a decision that a lot of people get wrong. Cast iron skillet or a cast iron grill pan. They're both cast iron. They both sound useful. And on paper, the grill pan kind of feels like it's the upgrade, right? Grill marks, less grease, more outdoor cooking vibes. But in real life, these two pans get used very differently. So in this video, I'm gonna help you decide which one actually makes sense to buy first and which one most people end up barely using. All right, so for context, I cook outdoors a lot. I own both of these. Standard cast iron skillet. Got one of these ribbed cast iron grill pans, the kind with the raised ridges. And over time, one of these became my default. The other one became very situational. So let's start off with the skillet. The biggest strength of the cast iron skillet is that it is very forgiving. It handles uneven heat, doesn't care if the surface isn't perfect. Outdoors, that matters more than people think. Wind happens, heat isn't always even, your attention is split. A skillet just keeps working, and you can cook almost anything in it. Meat, eggs, veggies. You can use it for sauces, basically one pan meals. You don't have to think too much about it. You don't have to be precise. You don't have to babysit it. You just cook. Now, let's talk about the grill pan. Grill pans sound great in theory. They promise grill marks, maybe a little less grease. They kind of feel like they're made for outdoor cooking, but here's what changes once you actually use these. All right, first off, we're talking about surface contact. With a grill pan, your food is only touching the raised ridges. Now, that means that there's less contact with the pan, which means that browning is less predictable. And outdoors, where heat is already inconsistent, that becomes more noticeable. Second, let's talk about grease management. Now, people assume that the ridges help with grease, and in reality, that grease has to go somewhere. And outdoors, that usually means grease pooling between the ridges, grease dripping unpredictably, and more cleanup than expected, especially when you don't have a sink nearby. All right, third, let's talk about versatility, because the grill pan is very specific. It works for certain cuts of meats. It works when grill marks actually matter. But the moment that you want to cook, let's just say smaller items, anything with a sauce, anything delicate, or anything that might fall apart, it definitely becomes annoying fast. And this is where I think that most people land. They buy the grill pan because it sounds right. It obviously looks really cool. Not because it's bad, but because it asks more of you as a cook. More attention, more cleanup, more compromise. Meanwhile, the skillet keeps getting used. Because it works even when conditions are not perfect, because it does not care what you throw in it, because it doesn't punish you for being tired or for being hungry, and that's what makes something default. And here's the simplest way to decide. If you want one piece of cast iron for outdoor cooking, something that handles most situations with the least amount of effort, then the skillet makes more sense for most people. Now, if you know that you specifically want grill marks, and you're okay with the extra cleanup and the narrow use case, well then, the grill pan definitely makes sense, but that is a smaller group than most people think. And this is why so many grill pans just end up sitting. They're not useless, they're just not as flexible. And outdoors, flexibility definitely wins. So if you're deciding right now and you don't want to overthink it, I'll put a link in the description down below to the kind of skillet that I'd recommend starting with. Actually, I'll put the links to both of these. And again, it's not because the grill pan is wrong, but because the skillet actually fits how most people cook outdoors. And that is the idea behind this channel, not buying what sounds best, not buying what looks good online, just choosing the right version that actually gets used so you can stop thinking about it and get on with cooking. That's it.